and welcome back to the True Crime Guys podcast. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Michael.
How's everybody doing?
Back with some more lottery winners.
Yeah, buddy, dude, it's kind of backed by popular demand. I thought that this part 2 was going to be the conclusion, but then people liked it, and then people kept sending us more of them. So I'm like, okay, I guess we're going to keep going with this.
I like it. I also like how for part 1, we just did 1, and then for part 2, we did 2 people. And part 3, guess what? We got 3 stories.
We told y'all after part 1 there was a lot more of these, and as you can see, there's more cases each time we do this. So I guess part 4 will have 4 of them.
Right. Part 30, we'll just be rattling off names of people that won.
Right. And then John Dixon died, and then he won the lottery, and then he's dead.
Right. Won the lottery. We'll just be rattling off dates and obituaries.
Yeah. So we got 3 cases for you this week, and the last one will kind of send you out. I think this might conclude it. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I think it should. I think it's good.
I think it should. We can't continue just lottery. This can't become the lottery winner podcast.
Right. We got other things
to change the logo to like a scratch off ticket or something.
Right. We'll have like scratch off tickets flying out the van window in our logo or something like that.
Yeah. So I made the third case of this last episode of the lottery winners. The conclusion, I made it. We'll send you out feeling good. It's kind of a feel good story for the third one.
That's right. That's what we try to do anyways. We try to send you out feeling good.
Right. So should we dive into part 3 of Unlucky Lotto Winners?
Let's do it, man. We got plenty to talk about.
All right.
Let's try one. $30. Holy fuck. 30, 60, 90, 120, 150 right down there. That's not counting this top. Holy shit, let's see. $30! $30! They're all fucking 30! No fucking way! $30! Oh my god, I'm sorry, I can't help it. $30! $29, $20, $30! No fucking way! They're at 20, there's no way! 30! Yeah! Wow! No fucking way!
All right, so we'll start off this week's set of cases with Michael Todd Hill, who was actually arrested this week. This is one of those rare occurrences where we do a case that is kind of ongoing right now. This just broke, and this is part of the reason why we're doing another episode of Lottery Winners, is because people started sending us this article that just, articles about this guy who was just arrested. He won the lottery in 2017, and now he's been arrested for murder.
Yeah,
so
this is
wins
crazy.
The lottery and then kills someone.
Right. This is a twist, right? We're typically used to the lottery winner being the victim, but this guy got everything he thought he wanted, and then he still wanted to kill somebody for some reason.
But it still goes along the lines of someone winning the lottery and then their life going downhill from there. Like it turns out bad,
But I mean, he did okay, I guess, for 3 years, right?
Yeah,
because
it also proves that you don't have to be a good guy to win the lottery.
Oh no,
he had quite an extensive criminal past, and then it still continued even after winning the lottery. He had his worst crime yet.
Right. What does that say for people who believe in karma? It's kind of
right.
The world is random, people. The world is random.
It's random, but ultimately, if you believe in karma, you'd go, well, look at the end. At the end, he still got what was coming to him, karma-wise. Yeah, he won the lottery, but then he's going to be in prison the rest of his life now.
Well,
potentially,
yeah.
We can't say that he's been arrested for murder, so we have to put an asterisk next to that. He's not been convicted yet. He's still innocent until proven guilty,
right?
Because he was literally just arrested this week, and they still have to do. We'll get to it, but he's in jail. He's been charged with murder, but he hasn't been convicted yet. It's just breaking this week. So
okay,
so let's dive into it. In 2017, Michael Todd Hill was a nuclear power plant worker from Brunswick County, North Carolina. There you go.
Yep. Close to the beach. Yeah.
Is that pretty? How is that pretty far from you?
It's a couple hours. It's a little closer to the beach. Maybe about 4 or 5 hours, because it mentions Shallot in here later on, and I actually played a baseball tournament there when I was like 12 or 13 years old, and I remember it was awful. I mean, it was like a freaking heat wave, bro. It was like 100 degrees. It's so humid. Like, none of us wanted to be there. We lost the first game of the tournament by 1 run, and we were like, good, we're out of here. Fuck this place. It's just like, it was that miserable. Like, nobody wanted to play. It was that awful.
Right.
But
you just like intentionally drop the ball. You're like, I'm going home. Fuck this.
whatever. What is a single elimination?
I don't need this shit.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take this third strike and head back to the bench.
Yeah. So Michael Todd Hill, working in a nuclear power plant, who knows what kind of radiation he was exposed to there,
Oh, that's a good point.
I just think of Chernobyl.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, maybe that played into his issues. I don't know.
Could play into your psyche over time.
Right. So he was married to a woman with instructional design with an instructional design business. So she owned her own business. He's living in Brunswick County, North Carolina. His life was changed, however, when he bought a $10 million scratch-off lottery ticket and won, or bought a scratch-off ticket and won $10 million
Right.
In the lottery in 2017. He'd done this many times before, but this time was different. He said, quote, "I have a strategy when it comes to scratching, of course, don't they all?"
Oh, of course.
You know what? Only one in millions wins, and every single one of those millions has a strategy. So stop acting like your strategy made you win. You just got lucky. Calm down.
You know what the strategy does? It just puts off
Keeps you coming back.
Well, not only that, but it puts off the disappointment for as long as possible. Everyone's strategy is don't scratch off the important squares first. Just scratch off the corners, scratch off around here. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it is, I know different scratch off works different ways, but it's always like, go at it slow, right? Take small bites, because then you still have something to look forward to, which is really why you're buying the lottery ticket. It's for that rush. Mm-hmm. And the longer that rush lasts, the more fun you have, right? Before you get to that disappointment of, oh, I lost again, or I just barely won my money back. Which is what typically happens.
Yeah, and I say this as a person who has a strategy when it comes to playing poker machines. Mm-hmm. I play Deuces Wild, and I do have a strategy, and it does work. So I can't tell you guys, because then Vegas would just – I mean, I live in Vegas, so we depend on you guys coming and losing your money here. I can't tell you my strategy, but I do consistently make money from playing the slot machine.
Well, that's fair.
I sound like such an idiot.
You sound like a douche. Oh, yeah, I mean, I win. You guys won't, but
it's such a stupid basic
Yeah.
It's such a stupid basic system that I'm sure many people use, but it does help to, I think, raise your odds a little bit.
Okay.
It just has to do with when you bet more and when you don't bet more. Like, I'll just give the system, fuck it. So
yes,
I start by playing a quarter, right? I'm playing deuces. I'm playing a quarter.
Okay.
And then I play a quarter until a hand happens where no deuce comes out on the initial draw, and when I hit, so you get the initial 5 set of cards, you hold what card you want. If I get no deuces on the first set, and then I hit draw and I get no deuces again, then I go up in my bet. So I'll go from 25 cents to $1.25, hoping that on the next hand, and knowing statistically I have a better chance the next hand of getting a deuce to come out, since I just didn't. You're playing, odds,
right?
Essentially, you're choosing when to bet higher as opposed to just betting higher every time.
I see what you're saying. Okay, that's a good
Usually,
strategy.
if you have a hand or two where you don't get a deuce is coming. So you raise your bet at that point, hoping that you'll get at least one deuce and get your money back. If not, multiple deuces and then win big.
Okay, that's a good strategy. I like it.
Once I started doing that, I started winning more consistently. But I just sound like a gambling addict right now. It's not out of control, people. Okay,
right?
Calm down.
Relax. It's just
I just use your Patreon money for my whimsical gambling. That's all.
Right. That's all. No big deal. I mean, it's everywhere. It's so
right
convenient.
Now. Michael's like, what the fuck?
Do what?
I'm not funding your gambling habit. Everyone leaves Patreon, and you're just sitting here looking at me like I'm an a-hole.
Right. Thanks a lot, Lauren.
I just throw $5 in every now and then. It's no big deal.
Right.
Like I said, if I lived in California and I had scratch-off tickets, it'd be a way bigger problem. That's for sure.
Oh, dude, the scratch-off tickets are so easy. But so are playing poker machines in Vegas. I mean, they're in the grocery store. I mean, you can literally stop
gas
wherever
stations,
you want.
Dude, that's where they get me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I can't have cash on me. Like if I have cash on me, it's most likely going in.
Oh yeah, it's too convenient.
I'm not going to get cash out just to play usually, but if I have a couple bucks on me, it's like, what better am I going to do with this?
Yeah, exactly.
Give it to charity or something?
Yeah.
Come on.
I was going to buy half of my Starbucks drink. Like, whatever.
Right.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So Michael, he said that he had a strategy when it comes to scratching. He said, quote, I start with the corners. When I got to the dollar symbol, I knew I won something. I saw the 1, then the 0, and it still didn't hit me. But then I saw the M. My heart dropped down to my toes, and I lost my breath. So he knew that he'd won big, this scratch off that he had been waiting for his whole life. He went inside the store that sold him the ticket, called his wife, and told her to pack her bags because we just won $10 million. Yeah. That's that phone call that everyone wants to make, right?
Oh, my God.
Babe, quit your job right now. Walk up to your boss, tell him to suck it, and walk out because I just won $10 million.
Right? Flip something off his desk if you want to. Flip the whole fucking desk. Like,
right. You ever seen videos of those fake scratch offs? People giving one of their friends or family members one of those fake scratchers that says they won $50K or $1 million or whatever.
Oh my God, no!
Actually, one of my coworkers gave his boss one of those at where you used to work in our department.
Yeah.
I won't say names, but one of our coworkers gave one of our bosses. I think it was your boss, actually.
Oh,
your former boss.
figures.
He gave. Yeah. Anyways,
That's
but
awesome.
yeah, I've seen videos where people like lose their shit. They're like, I just won, and they're jumping around. It makes you wonder, has that ever happened where someone got one of those fake ones, think they won, and then like quit their job on the spot, like told their boss to fuck off, and then just to realize in the parking lot that it says like redeem to Santa Claus or something.
That has definitely happened. I'm going to go out on a
Right?
limb.
It's had to have happened. Those cards have costed some jobs, I'm sure.
Somebody said a lot of shit they couldn't take back over a fake lottery ticket. No doubt.
Exactly. So employees at this gas station said that Michael Todd Hill would often stop by this gas station and play, and he seemed like a nice guy. Quote, this is life-changing, Hill said. Wow, just wow. He ended up choosing the lump sum and took home just over $4 million. Now, I know we've talked about the lump sum situation and how we would take it. The more of these I've studied, though, the more I'm starting to think there's a common denominator in that they all take the lump sum. A lot of times they burn through it really quickly, and they're left with nothing, and that's when bad shit happens, or they get robbed or whatever.
Right.
But I think if you had that steady money coming in every month, you have that to look forward to each month, and it would. I think that would help your mindset,
Right.
and it would help you not just blow all the money right away, and it also might help you not get robbed as well if people find out that you're getting that money coming in as opposed to just having this huge chunk of money sitting around.
Right. I think it's just the time period. It depends. Like if it's like you're gonna get all the money over the course of 5 to 10 years, I'd say, okay, yeah, maybe. But if it's like it's going to take me 20,
like 50
25
years,
years to get this payoff, I'm like, I don't know. A lot can happen in that time. This lottery could collapse.
How does it work as far as if I died next week, is my family going to continue to get that money, or is it just that's it?
Exactly. And I think that they're just not willing to take that chance.
Yeah.
They're just not.
Fair enough. I think I'd still take the loan. It'd be just too tempting not to just take the money. Just give me my money now.
Yeah,
I just want it.
money.
And then I'll set up some sort of situation. I'll convince myself that I'll be careful with it, but
Right.
who knows?
But you won't. I mean,
who knows until you have that
probably
money.
will. You're pretty good. You're pretty good with money, man. You probably make some crazy purchases up front, maybe pay off some stuff, and then you can just coast, man. It's all about your priorities in life and what makes you happy, And I think you figure that
that's
out
true.
real quick. What that is.
It's not for me. It's not buying things. I'm able to have money in the bank and not go out and buy stupid shit all the time. I just kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know. I look at life as like you need hobbies, goals, things like that aren't really money related, but better yourself in a different way. That's kind of what keeps me excited.
Right. The money just gives you the freedom to be able to do the things that you want to do.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I love the idea that having money in the bank that you can, if you want to go on vacation on a whim, you can, or
Right.
whatever. If there is something you feel like you want or need, you can just buy it. Not talking about something huge, like a fancy car or something like that, but
Right. Like
my wife
your microwave
just all
breaks.
the time just buys. Yeah. If something breaks, you can just pay for it. And you don't have to worry about it. That type of shit is nice too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But if you won the lottery, that and you had that kind of money sitting around, it didn't matter what breaks at that point. Your house breaks, you just buy a new house.
Yeah. Fuck this house. I'm out of here.
Yeah. So after collecting his huge prize, Michael Todd Hill reportedly returned to the store to give the woman who'd sold him the winning ticket $2,000.
Right on.
That's good. That's a good amount. I mean, that's nice. That's nice. But you did win $10 million. I feel like 2,000 is almost an insult.
Yeah, but he doesn't know her anything.
Percentage-wise.
She just
He
works
doesn't have
there.
to give her anything. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
She just grabbed the ticket on top of the roll. You know what I'm saying? She didn't do anything, probably. Not like she
Right.
went through there and was sniffing them like, this is it. This is it. Here you go.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know.
And the fact that he came back the next week and did that, like she'd probably already kind of like moved past it, and then all of a sudden he shows up and he's like, "Oh, I didn't think I was getting anything, and all of a sudden I got $2,000.
Well, man, that's cool though. $2,000.
That's a lot of money to a person that works at a gas station too.
Right
you know,
on,
that's
dude.
probably like a month's pay or something.
Yeah, you don't know how much that probably helped her.
Right. Now, as we kind of briefly alluded to though earlier, Michael Todd Hill had quite a criminal history prior to winning the lottery. He wasn't necessarily a good dude. I don't know. Maybe he changed because a lot of this history was a long time prior to him winning the lottery. He may have grown as a person and gotten better, but judging by what just recently came out and the reason we're covering this, probably not. Probably still a bad guy. Because he was convicted of felony breaking and entering in November of 1988 in Sampson County, larceny over $200, and misdemeanor breaking and entering on October of 1988. So,
but you have to look.
So the prior month he had been he'd broken entered 2 months in a row.
Right.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, man, a lot of these offenses are 20 plus years old, though. And yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You could say he's grown, right?
Absolutely.
By 2007 when he wins the lottery. However, what just came out this week and why we're covering this case would lead you to believe, no, he's still a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, the circumstances, right? Allegedly.
Been hard to overlook that.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he did get charged with it, but he still has to go through trial.
Right.
So that's far from the end. So he also was charged with receiving stolen goods in August of 1989, larceny over $200, felony breaking and entering, and misdemeanor breaking and entering in February of 1989, larceny over $200 and breaking and entering vehicles in October of 1991. Worthless check on October of 1991 in Hanover County. Worthless check. So he's given out bad checks all through the early 90s. Mm-hmm. And armed robbery in June of 1992, according to the North Carolina Department of Public Safety. So he went on quite a spree there from 88 until 92, basically. And then he kind of seems to go quiet for a long time.
Right.
Until recently. Well, he wins the lottery in 07. That's the other big news about him. So from 92 to 2007, pretty quiet, doesn't have any criminal charges.
Right.
Wins the lottery in 2007. And then this past week, literally this past Tuesday, he was arrested after 23-year-old Kiana Graham was found dead in his hotel room the previous morning, Monday, July 20th, 2020. So this just occurred this past week. He's now 52 years old. And this is kind of how the story goes. Sunday the 19th, Hill checked in alone at the Sure Stay Hotel in Charlotte. How do you say that? Charlotte,
yeah.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Is that the place where you played that tournament?
That is it. So I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's in Brunswick County or not, but Charlotte. Yeah. Oh gosh, that was a miserable place in the summer.
Maybe that's why he killed this woman, because it was just so hot.
Yeah, it's just so sweaty in here.
Really frustrated. I don't know.
Right.
So yeah, he checks in alone at the Sure Stay Hotel on the 19th. He missed his checkout time at 11 a.m. the next day, so a housekeeper went upstairs to knock on his door. When Hill didn't answer, the employee went in and discovered Kiana Graham's motionless body. Now, the hotel didn't know who she was. She didn't check in with him, but this woman's body's found, and the last person that was staying in that room and just never checked out was Michael Hill. So.
Right.
Police were called, and Michael Hill was taken into custody on Tuesday. None of the staff had seen Graham prior to their horrifying discovery, according to the hotel's manager. Hill and Graham had an on and off relationship, according to Detective John Holman. She was a prison correction officer who had previously worked for a program helping people with mental disabilities. So he knew her. So it's kind of easy to draw the lines there. He checks into the hotel. They know that he was the last person in there along with Graham. And then they also find out that they had a history as well. So
I wonder how much of a history, because she wasn't but 23 years old.
Right.
I mean, how long was he with her?
I don't know, been hooking up with her, or it seems like maybe it was one of those things where he's married and then he goes and meets this woman at the hotel and they have affairs together and whatnot. I don't know if it was probably just about sex. I don't know how she ended up dead. If things got out of control, maybe he liked forceful sex and he choked her a little too long. Who knows? I'm just speculating, obviously.
Right.
But,
I'm sure more will come out soon.
Yeah, because also we're still awaiting an autopsy
right.
as we speak. So,
right.
And as you hear this, more news could have broken, because we're recording this on Sunday. You guys won't get this until Wednesday as you're listening. So more news could have broken. Just keep that in mind. If you look into this case, we're recording Sunday, so we don't know what could have broken by the time you hear this.
Exactly.
So Hill has been charged with murder and is being held without bond. Despite his recent lotto win, he claimed he couldn't afford a lawyer and has been appointed a public defender. So burned through that $4 million that he'd gotten after taxes. He got about $4 million after he took the lump sum, and then it got taxed.
Or maybe he thinks he's
in 3 years.
Maybe he thinks he's dead in the water, and he's like, I'm not blowing my money on this.
Hey, that's a good point.
You know, he's
Why
like,
would you?
Doesn't matter how good my lawyer is. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Lawyers can make a big difference if you're willing to spend a ton of money.
Yeah, that's true too.
But maybe there's just like undeniable physical evidence there to where it's just like, yeah, they got me dead to rights. There's no way.
Right.
Getting out of it.
Exactly.
So some of friends and family talked about Kiana Graham and what a great person she was. Quote, she could smile and you'll start smiling. Tiana Smith, who went to high school with Graham, said, you could be having a bad day and she'll come up to you. She doesn't even have it to say anything. You just start smiling once you see her. Police say that the investigation is ongoing and they are awaiting the results of an autopsy, as we briefly mentioned.
So that's where we are with that one right now, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Oof.
You want to dive into an advertisement before we go to our next case?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Let's talk about our newest sponsor, Raycon. Whether you're working from home or working on your fitness, you want what you're listening to be what you're listening to, not what your roommates, your children, etc. are listening to. In my case, I can listen to my murder documentaries and watch them on my laptop while keeping an eye on my kids while they're watching something else more appropriate for children and have my earbuds in.
That's so handy.
It's so nice. Yeah, I got my Raycons in and I'm listening to, whatever heinous crimes are going on the screen on my laptop.
Right.
And the kids have no clue. They think I'm just watching.
Right, they're sitting right beside you.
They think I'm watching Paw Patrol with them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Perfect. Everyone's happy.
Everyone needs a great pair of wireless earbuds, but before you drop hundreds of dollars on a pair, check out wireless earbuds from Raycon. You already know Raycon earbuds start off at about half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds on the market, and they sound just as amazing as other top audio brands you know. Their newest model, the Everyday E25 earbuds, are the best ones yet, with 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and more compact design that gives you a nice noise-isolating fit. We got ours about 2 weeks ago in the mail, thanks to Raycon for that, and I am loving them, man. They're definitely a game changer when it comes to just doing yard work, working out. I'll talk a little bit more about working out with them in a minute. But yeah, how you loving yours?
They're so convenient. Like how quick they connect and everything. You just open the pack, you put them in your ears, and you're ready to go.
Yeah, I love that the case charges them for you. I've only had to charge the case one time, and every time I put my earbuds back in the case, it charges them up again. So it's just like charging is almost never a problem. They're definitely the best fitting. I feel like I have odd shaped ear holes. I don't know, but they also have different sizes in there as well, which I think is important because everyone's ear holes I think are different, but they stay in no matter what I'm doing. Raycon's wireless earbuds are so comfortable, perfect for conference calls or binging podcasts. Wearing my Raycon Everyday E25s while working out lately has been a game changer for me. No wires getting caught up and pulling the earbuds out of my ears. They stay up in my ears no matter what I'm doing. So yesterday I was jumping rope with my E25s in, and perfect. Didn't come out.
Nice.
No
that was
problems,
a gamble.
no interruptions. Right? Yeah, I mean, that's the ultimate test, right? Jumping rope or running. But jumping rope, I think, even more because you're bouncing up and down repeatedly. Unlike some of your other wireless options, Raycon earbuds are both stylish and discreet with no dangling wires or stems to distract anyone during video calls. I also like the look of them as well. I'm not a big fan of some of the competitors, the way that they kind of dangle down. I think they're so visible. These are they just look like regular earbuds with no wires coming out of them.
Right. They fit perfectly in that
stylish
opening of your ear. They're very discreet.
Yeah.
I like that.
The company was co-founded by Ray J, and other celebrities like Snoop Dogg, Mike Tyson, and Rich the Kid are obsessed with Raycons. So here's the call to action for all the creepers out there. Now's the time to get the latest and greatest from Raycon. Get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/creeper. That's buyraycon.com/creeper for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. Buyraycon.com/creeper. All right, on to our next case, another Unlucky Lotto winner. This time we got Jeffrey Dampierre, who was born March 24th, 1966 in Chicago. He shares a birthday with The Undertaker and Peyton Manning. Quite a coupling there.
Seriously. Didn't The Undertaker just retire?
Did
officially? He? I think he just...
Dude, that dude's... Yeah. He's been around forever. If he just retired, man.
Yeah. He was surprisingly doing pretty well. I thought for a while.
Well, he is the Undertaker, you know.
Yeah, that's true. He's probably already dead. He's probably been dead for years.
Right.
Right? That's what he said. He's been telling us that.
You know, I'm not a big professional wrestling guy, but I always thought his character was pretty cool.
I liked the Undertaker. I also like Kane too. I liked those matches.
Right. Sting. Remember Sting?
Oh, of course, coming down from the rafters.
Right.
It's badass. Yeah, that was the best. That was the golden age of wrestling, in my opinion. You know, you had Rey Mysterio, you had the Big Show, you had The Rock, Sting,
Goldberg.
Yeah, Goldberg. Damn, I wonder
Remember
what
the
he's up to
spear
now.
he used to do?
Dude, the spear was badass. You gotta. If you were fighting him or you had a match against him that next night and you saw that written in the script, you gotta be like, "Fuck, I'm getting speared tomorrow." God damn it.
Goldberg's been doing TV shows and shit. You didn't know that?
No, I did not.
I want to say he was hosting some kind of a game show where you tested your physical abilities. Like I don't know how to explain it, but there's a lot of shows like that. But yeah, it was one of those where a bunch of athletes come in and then they compete.
Oh, he was a host?
Yeah, he was the host.
Oh, okay. Wow. I think
he's doing something else too. I forget, but I think he's doing something else real recently. But maybe co-host of something. But
oh, okay.
And then Peyton Manning, of course, Captain Big Head,
right?
Porpoise-looking Hall of Fame QB.
Right. I think he's better at commercials. Honestly,
Legend has it. His forehead's still growing as we speak.
Right. Pretty soon they'll just start advertising the commercials he's on right on his forehead. He won't even have to talk. It'll just be like zooming in on his forehead the entire 30 seconds.
You know, he's one of the great modern characters in the NFL, though. Like, just the personality-wise, he has a really good show on ESPN. I think it's like a premium show; you have to pay for it. But
okay,
they've released some episodes for free, and he kind of like covers the history of the NFL and goes around with meets with different characters.
Yeah,
you know, from the NFL. It's called Peyton's Places, I think.
I have
really
seen a preview
show.
for that. I've seen like a trailer. Yeah,
it's really good. Like he goes to like the factory where they make footballs and talks to the people that make footballs every day, and then he'll go like meet with, you know, a Hall of Fame kicker that kicked in a really weird way and like try the stuff that he tries to do the things that those people do.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty good. And it's because it's Peyton Manning. He's funny and he makes it entertaining. So
he's a good conversationalist. He really is. He kind of found his niche with that.
Yeah. There was one episode he did where he met with old time quarterbacks, and then, you know, they had like crappy equipment, like the guy who invented the flak jacket or whatever, what protects your midsection from hits.
Yeah.
Like this old crappy flak jacket that they used to wear. He put it on, and then he had a baseball player like hitting him with a bat to see how much it protected him.
Ooh, Peyton did?
It was pretty good. Yeah.
How did he fare?
He was fine.
Oh.
I mean, the guy wasn't really laying into him, you know.
Oh, okay. It wasn't like Bryce Harper letting him have it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you.
Right. So Jeffrey Dampier, who was, as we mentioned, born in 1966 in Chicago, he was an average guy, but he always wanted to be rich like the rest of us. His dream had always been to be a successful business owner. He grew up on Chicago's west side, and after high school, he was unable to afford college, so he went into the Army, where he became a mechanic. When he was discharged, he went to a community college, and there he met his first wife, Deborah. They had 2 kids. He had 2 kids from a previous relationship, and she had 3, so they had sort of a Brady Bunch situation going on.
Okay.
They would marry, him and Deborah, and become a big, happy, blended family of 7 for a while. Then in 1996, things changed. At that time, he was struggling to pay bills for his large family. He was working as a security guard when he hit the lottery, the Illinois lottery in 1996, for a staggering $20 million, one of the bigger prizes that we've covered.
Yes, it is.
He was known locally as a very generous man, and with his newfound wealth and success, he regularly splashed on his friends and family. A little overboard with sharing, I thought. He was one of the more generous winners we've also covered. You know, he's just kind of like
more
helping
generous,
everybody out.
More generous than Abraham, you think?
It's arguable.
Wow.
He basically took his wife's. He meets this new woman and marries her, as we'll get to, and then he basically carries her whole family. So it's not even like blood close relatives he's known a long time. It's like he meets a woman and then her sisters, like he just moves them into his house and all this stuff and is paying for their lives.
Wow. Oh,
and
yeah,
that ended up coming back to bite him in the ass.
Yeah, in that way, I guess that's more of a long-term commitment to helping someone with the money. I'd say that is more generous.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say give them one little like lump sum.
Yeah.
As you when you win the lottery, like give a family member that and be like, hey, when you're done with that, don't come back for more. This is all you get.
Right.
That's what I would do.
Use it
I'm
wisely.
not gonna pay your monthly bills for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Even with their newfound wealth, they couldn't stay happily married. Jeff and Deborah, his first wife, they would end up getting divorced not too long after winning the lottery. They would end up splitting the money 50-50. So there goes half of his lottery winnings after the tax man took more than half.
Right.
So it gets whittled down quick. Even though he won $20 million, who knows what he's got left? Probably a handful
4,
of
5.
Yeah, he's probably got $5 million left after splitting it with his wife, splitting it with the tax man, and just keeps getting chunked off, and being very generous with it as well. So not long after getting divorced from his first wife, Deborah, he meets a woman named Crystal Jackson and marries her quickly. 2 years after meeting Crystal, they moved to Tampa Bay together. Once in Florida, Jeff used the money to invest in a popcorn business called Cassie's Gourmet Popcorn, based in Tampa Bay's Channelside Entertainment District. So quite a way to invest your lottery winnings.
How could
opening
that fail?
a popcorn. That's just, yeah. I don't know that it necessarily failed. Did
It probably
it fail?
didn't. No.
Yeah, I think it was doing okay. But I mean, how much money could you really make from selling popcorn?
Dude.
I get it's gourmet popcorn, but
What's that chain in Vegas? It's like Popcorn Girl or something like that. There was a few of them. Do you know what I'm talking about?
no, I don't.
They're in like strip malls and stuff.
Okay. You know what? I take it back. I think you could. It makes sense you could make money doing it because popcorn
Yeah.
is dirt cheap.
Yes.
So you get some popcorn and then you get some dirt cheap toppings to put on top of it, and then you charge a premium like $8 a thing or whatever.
This gourmet popcorn and stuff, like it's no joke, man. They got so many flavors, and it's not like the popcorn that you would get at the store or at the movies where the kernels and shit are getting stuck in your teeth. Like that shit's fun to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fluffy, it's light. People that know how to make like good kettle corn and stuff, people pay good money for it, I think. I don't know if it's I don't know if you're getting rich off your popcorn business, but I mean, I think there's a demand for it, especially in the entertainment district.
It must have been a labor of love, because he's already a millionaire.
Right.
So he must have just really had a passion for popcorn or something, and just wanted something to do with his daily life.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe he
Running
liked
a business.
Maybe he liked Cassie. Who knows?
Well, Cassie was his daughter. I think he named the business after his daughter, Cassie.
Oh, well, even more so. He's probably planning on leaving that to her.
Maybe that's what it was. He was setting up his children with their own business to run.
Yeah, with some long-term wealth instead of just giving them money and where they could live off of for the rest of their life.
Yeah. And maybe it was even Cassie's idea. Maybe she really loved popcorn, and he's like, you know what? Let's open you a business.
Yeah, maybe. He was like, why not? I got plenty of money.
Right. So Jeffrey then moved Crystal, his new wife, her two sisters, down to Tampa to live with them, Victoria and Terry Jackson. With no means of their own, Jeff took care of both sisters' finances and continued to buy presents for many of their family members, especially Victoria Jackson.
Shit.
For good reason, because he was having an affair with her, Victoria.
I would not be taking care of them. I would be putting their asses to work at that popcorn store, but y'all better be getting some scooping some popcorn. Y'all gonna earn your living out here.
I know, right?
Like three.
He's
Now
like,
you got
I'd be
3
like,
wives
man.
pretty much you're taking care of.
Seriously. It'd be like, man, I got my own family to worry about, and I can't be carrying your whole family, too.
Yeah, seriously.
With my few millions that I have left after getting, chunked away at.
That's right.
So, yeah, Victoria Jackson, one of the two sisters that he moved to Tampa with, he was having an affair with. And so that complicates things a bit.
A little bit.
Because then you really got to buy her shit, to keep her quiet.
Yeah.
You don't want her exposing you
Yeah.
to your wife, who's her sister.
Right.
That could really cause some strife.
You think?
Then guess what? You're losing half of what you got left again, and it's just
Oh shit! It just keeps getting split 50-50 till he's got nothing.
yeah. So he bought Victoria Jackson and her boyfriend an apartment. So she has a boyfriend. He's married to her sister, and they're having this affair. So to keep her quiet, I think a big part of it, he's paying for her apartment with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
However, Victoria's greedy boyfriend, Nathaniel, coincidentally also called Jackson. So her boyfriend, his last name was also Jackson.
Oh, jeez.
They were not related. He was still not satisfied with, this guy paying for their apartment. That wasn't enough. And it makes me wonder if maybe he found out about the affair. He was aware of it.
Dude, I think not only was he aware of it, I think this was a plan altogether. I think Victoria was like, listen, just let me be with this guy on the side for a little while until he can get us what we need, and then we'll start our life together.
Right.
And
yeah,
we'll drop
Nathaniel
this guy.
may have even pushed her to get with him to try and get closer to that money.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so that's where this evil scheme starts to hatch. with the Jacksons. On a Tuesday night on July 26th of 2005, a dark and sinister plot was born in the minds of the Jacksons after Victoria called the good-natured Jeff to their apartment. Nathaniel jumped him and tied his hands with shoelaces. Testimony given in court later would report that Jeff was hustled into the back of Jackson's van at gunpoint, at which point Nathaniel Jackson allegedly pulled the trigger, delivering a fatal gunshot wound to Jeff's head. That story would then be found to be false. It was a little bit different than that. It's also alleged that Jeffrey Dampierre had started an affair with Victoria, as we'd mentioned, when she was only 15, though. We find that out. So she was only 15 when this affair started. And that he also paid for her abortion when she became pregnant at 16. This stuff starts coming out at court. So this has been going on for a little while. She must have still been young because he had only met her sister, right, and got married to her a couple of years prior. So she was probably only like 19, 20 by the time this event happens.
This really sheds a different light on everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, right?
Oof, it makes it real sketch. Just on both sides of this story. It's like it sucks what happened to Dampierre, but I mean, dude, you're messing with a 15-year-old?
In a way, it kind of sucks for what happened with, it sounds crazy, but with Victoria as well, because she in court broke down and was acting as though she was caught between the middle, between a guy who, you know, had this power over her when she was a teenager and was having sexual relations with her and had all this money and was married to her sister. And then this guy, Nathaniel, was pushing her in different ways. She felt compelled to obey Nathaniel due to his obsessive and strong control over and also Jeffrey as well. Now, things started to, the word changed about who actually pulled the trigger during trial. On the night of the murder, Victoria claimed that her boyfriend Nathaniel had shouted repeatedly to shoot him, at which point she did after he said, "Shoot him or I'll shoot you." So supposedly she actually was the one with the gun and actually pulled the trigger, forced to by Nathaniel, her boyfriend.
So that was the truth. That's what they settled on.
Yeah, that seems to be the truth, is that she pulled the trigger, but she was pretty much forced to. He said that either she does it or I'm going to kill you.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but either way, they were both involved. They're both going down. You know, they both were there when he was killed. And also, it turned out that the other sister was also there, was also present at the time.
Oh.
Terry Jackson was also present for the murder.
Gosh, I wonder how old Terry was. Did you ever find that anywhere?
No.
I bet she was even younger.
Right. It's possible.
That is a strange situation, man.
Yeah, so although it was established at the trial that Victoria was being controlled by both men and felt compelled to obey Nathaniel due to his obsessive and strong control over her, she was given a life sentence as well for the murder. Nathaniel was found guilty of murder and also given a life sentence. So they both went down for that. And it's just another case where the money, everyone knowing you have that kind of money, some evil schemes can be plotted up to take you out to try and get their hands on it.
Yeah, for sure. What a twisted thing. That's such a Florida story right there. If they'd have stayed in Illinois, none of that shit would have happened. They'd have been too cold. They'd been like, let's just stay in our house and just stay warm and everybody be happy.
It also goes to show that the money follows you, and so does everyone knowing you have the money. So like we've talked about, I would just move away from where I won the lottery. Yeah. Well, he did. He moved down to Tampa.
Yeah, but the problem was he took all these people that knew he won the lottery with him.
Exactly. And were dependent on him and probably tired of being dependent on him and just wanted the money for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also may have hated him for doing what he had done, you know, getting with her at such a young age.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a willing participant she was in that, but how much can you be when you're 15? How much of that is even...
How much is
There's a reason we have those laws, you know?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So... And let's finish out this series, as we kind of talked about at the beginning, with more of a feel-good story. This story, I think you guys will like. It'll give you a good laugh, and it ends well for once. Very rare when you listen to this where things end well.
Yeah, exactly.
So we wanted to leave you guys feeling good after this long series of Unlucky Lotto Winners.
Right.
We're going to wrap this up with Bill Morgan. Bill Morgan, Australian Bill Morgan.
All right, mate.
All right, mate. Who back in... This story, I love this story, and we'll have a little video clip to make it even better for you.
This is such an Australian story. It's just another tough-ass Australian dude that just couldn't be killed, right? It's just another one. Like, God almighty.
So back in 1998, a 37-year-old Australian truck driver named Bill Morgan was involved in a truck accident that nearly crushed him. He miraculously survived the crash, but suffered a heart attack as a result. So at 37 years old, he's in this really bad accident, almost dies, and as a result of the accident, he has a heart attack at 37.
Okay.
He was then rushed to the emergency room and given a drug that triggered a severe allergic reaction in his body, ultimately causing his heart to stop beating. So he dies.
Damn it.
He has a heart attack after this accident, dies, the end. That's it. That feel good story, right, guys?
Thanks for tuning in.
Right, thanks, guys. That's a great series. See you next week.
See you next.
So Bill Morgan had died, but in an amazing twist of fate, that wasn't the end for him. After being clinically dead for more than 14 minutes, he was revived, but remained in a coma for more than a week. Doctors advised his family to take him off life support at one point during that week of him being in a coma. They decided, however, to stick it out a little longer, and after 12 days, Bill miraculously woke up and eventually made a complete recovery. He was very fortunate to have walked away from the ordeal without any serious health problems, and with a new lease on life, Bill was optimistic about the future. He eventually got a new job and mustered up the courage to propose to his girlfriend, Lisa Wells. She happily accepted. Sometime after his engagement, Bill decided to try his luck at the lottery. He purchased a scratch-off ticket and instantly won a car. Maybe not as much as of a lottery win as we'd been covering. The car was worth about $17,000 at the time. Just a little. It's kind of a funny little goofy car. It's nothing to write home about, but
it's a car.
To Bill, this was a huge deal.
I mean, worst case scenario, right? You flip it, you just sell it for $10,000. Now you got $10,000 for buying a lottery ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hell no. Bill was driving that thing around, and it still had the big, it had like big magnets or emblems on the side that said he had wanted it a scratch off. I love that. That he would just he was just happy as shit, big smile on his face, driving this car around that said he wanted it. I think he was more excited about the fact that he had won it and wanted to brag about how he'd won it, and so like he was never going to take those emblems off. He just seemed like that type of guy.
I mean, what a conversation starter too. You know what I mean? It's such an icebreaker. Right. You could pull up anywhere.
Can you believe it? I fucking won this shit.
Right. Don't give a shit. It's a little puddle jumper.
Yeah, Bill was overjoyed. And that's not the end of this story. It gets even crazier. So this lucky turn of events soon caught the interest of a Melbourne news station, who decided to cover Bill's story. And this is where things get really crazy. So while they decided they wanted to film a reenactment of him winning. So, this is a great feel-good story for the local news there. They're like, this guy has a heart attack, dies clinically for 14 days or whatever, comes back to life, and then wins a car in a scratch-off. So they go to him and they're like, hey, Bill, let's go to the gas station where you won. Let's buy you a scratch-off, and we'll record your reaction as if you won the car again,
Right.
And so he's like, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
And so they go there. They start filming this reenactment. He buys a scratch-off ticket, scratches it, and this happens.
When we asked Bill to reenact buying his scratchy ticket.
I just won 250,000. I'm not joking.
You're not, are you? Really?
I just won 250,000.
And he starts crying hysterically. He just cannot believe it. So he literally wins $250,000 while reenacting, much more than the car that he had won that they were there to reenact. Obviously, $250,000. So this Bill guy, he's the luckiest guy. He calls himself the luckiest guy in the world. And it's hard to argue, having survived, a deadly car crash, a heart attack, then winning the lottery twice. So.
Seriously, I want to know what this guy. I want to know what this guy's up to now. It's like, what did he end up doing? He was
all I can say is that I'm pretty sure he's still alive. Let's just hope he is. I tried to look into it, but I'm sure he kind of rode off into the sunset with his $250K and his cute little car with the lottery winner stickers on the side of it.
Freaking Deadpool, bro. He's not going anywhere.
All right.
This dude's immortal. I don't know what's going on.
Oh yeah. Yep. Good stuff. So yeah. Can't beat the Australians down there, man.
I know. Old Bill.
If you're going to win the lottery, win it down in Australia, I guess.
So there you go, guys. We didn't want to completely discourage you from playing the lottery,
Right. I just won 250,000. I'm not joking.
Right. So I know. Great. I love his voice. He's so calm about it at first. He's just like, oh my God. What were the news people thinking? They're like, damn, this just got promoted to front page.
Yeah, no, they were like, we've just fucking hit the jackpot ourselves with this story right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it almost makes you wonder if they didn't set that up. But how could they have?
Right.
I mean,
I think they would have just pocketed it if they knew that was a $250,000 ticket. That news story couldn't have made quite as much as $250,000.
No, you're right. You're right.
So,
When did that take place?
shit, it was a while ago.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
98. So this is
Yeah.
around the late 90s. So yeah.
I was just looking at the video. I was like, looks kind of an older quality video there.
Assuming Bill's heart's held up over the last 20 years, hopefully he's still kicking. Enjoying his 250,000.
Right. I'm sure he is. He probably invested it well. He's still driving that little gas saver.
Yeah, right.
He's probably driving it for 22
Threw
years.
that bag
Yeah,
of
I doubt
money
it.
in the hatch of that beast.
Yeah.
Rode off into the sunset.
With things that said, I
Bought a
won
lot
the
of
lottery on the
Vegemite,
side.
mate.
Oh, for sure. Can make so many Vegemite sandwich with that.
Right. All right, should we talk some Oh My Gaia?
We should, man. Now that we finally wrapped up the lottery winning series.
Yep.
If you guys want to win the lottery of deodorants,
Ooh, I
you need
like
to
that.
check out Oh My Gaia. Oh My Gaia is an innovative, all-natural deodorant, fragrance, and beard oil company specializing in paraben and aluminum-free products. Their innovative line of deodorants inhibit the growth of odor-causing bacteria while maintaining effectiveness. At Oh My Gaia, they use only all-natural, paraben, and aluminum-free organic ingredients. Guys, we have tons of scents to choose from, including our very own scent, True Crime Pine, which we are very pleased with. We were honored to have that scent back when we first started working with Oh My Gaia. Still a crowd favorite, I think. It's one
Absolutely.
of my favorites. I always keep a jar on hand.
It will help you
But-
get away with murder if you do have to take someone out. Maybe they
Allegedly.
did something to a family member, and
Right.
you got no justice, and you gotta. I don't want to encourage this kind of thing, but
Right.
True Crime Pine will help you get away with it.
Right. Or it will just help you smell good in stressful situations as well.
That too, yeah. If you're getting interrogated
yeah.
for a murder you didn't
Right.
do, this will help you stay cool under pressure.
Exactly. Maybe taking a polygraph.
Right.
But if you're not into True Crime Pine, you don't want to be that obvious. You can use scents like vanilla, cherry almond, sandalwood, lavender, lemongrass, Egyptian musk. That's one of my favorites. Coconut, dreamsicle, leather, lumberjack, honeysuckle, fireside. And then there's limited editions that sometimes become staples. Like I think Bergamot Amber started as a limited edition, and now it's I think it's a staple if I'm not mistaken. It's one of my wife's favorites. A lot of people like Bergamot Amber. Also Barbershop. That's a good one.
That's what
too.
I'm wearing
Very
right
clean.
now. Barbershop.
Yeah, I like
So
Barbershop.
clean,
man. It's
so
very
yeah,
clean
it's
and fresh.
fantastic.
Yeah. But because you guys are True Crime Guys listeners, you can use the word creeper, CREEPER, for 15% off your order at ohmygaia.com. That's OHMYGAIA.com or at shop_ohmygaia on Instagram.
Do it.
Right? Do it, guys.
And you want to talk some
What we're doing.
Patreon, talk about your other show while I look up some reviewers to give a
Yes.
shout out to?
Yes, absolutely. Last week, if you missed us, we recorded a Patreon exclusive on Adrian Loya, a man who believed he was sexually harassed and then decided to write a 250-page saga talking about how he was going to get his revenge and then doing exactly that, although it wasn't quite as theatrical as he had planned. But that is the Lawyer Wars. And you can find that on patreon.com/truecrimeguys, as well as all of our Patreon exclusives. We release one a month. I mean, how many's on there by now, Lauren? At least over 50, 60 exclusives, I would say.
Yeah, a
So,
lot of them.
you guys, there's
a lot of them.
plenty to listen to on there.
Yeah, a lot of them ranging from 2 to 3 hours long. And
Right.
plus just a bunch of other bonus recordings. We've talked to listeners. We've done just spur of the moment
Yes.
recordings. Michael's called me at work and we just ramble for a while. There's all kinds of stuff on there that you get
There is.
access to for $2.
That's right. And also the Higher Thoughts series is on there, the complete Higher Thoughts series, 35 episodes of Higher Thoughts with Michael. If you guys are into that sort of thing, it's a way to take a little break from true crime, maybe get to know us a little better. Lauren is featured on an episode or two of Higher Thoughts, as well as Esther Ludlow from Once Upon a Crime. We had a lot of good times with that series. And we've been hearing a lot lately that people are at least noticing more lately. We've always known this, that our best content is behind that Patreon wall. Like, I hate to say it, but it is. I mean, we let
loose a little bit more on there.
Gacy and
If
Ted
you like
Bundy.
if you like the fun free form, like joking around more stuff, there's a lot of that
Right.
on Patreon.
Because we're afforded that privilege on Patreon without getting 1-starred. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, we know that if you're there listening to it, that you're beyond the first time listener that's real judgmental right off the bat. You already like us, that's why you're there, and so we feel
correct.
like less afraid to be ourselves on there and then be a little less professional. Not that we're not still like respectful of we're still respectful of the victims and everything that we talk about, but it's just more off the cuff talk and stuff like that on there. So.
Exactly. And guys, that's patreon.com/truecrimeguys. For $2 a month, I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
And for $5 a month, you get the gold sticker, which I just sent out a crap load yesterday. So if you've been waiting, wait no longer. This week it should be out to you.
They are on their way.
Yes.
And guys, and if that's still not enough True Crime Guys productions for you, we have a whole nother show called Strange and Unexplained, where we tackle unsolved and missing persons cases. And you guys can find that wherever podcasts are available. You can just search True Crime Guys in whatever engine you're listening to right now, and you should pull it up. Strange and Unexplained. You'll see 2 velociraptors on the cover art. You can't miss it. It's very hard. It's very hard to miss it, in my opinion. And that's why I picked it. That's two velociraptors I took a picture of at a truck stop in Arizona. So in case you guys were wondering, I just saw that and I was like, this is the perfect cover art. But Strange and Unexplained, guys, it's a True Crime Guys production. It's produced a little different. It's not a conversational style. It's more breaking down the case using audio from newscast and 911 calls and different things. And then also Lauren has a segment of the show called the Lauren Synopsis. So if I get to the end of the episode and I still ain't making any sense, you guys get to hear it from Lauren, and he kind of sums it up. It's kind of in my opinion, it's a great way to get a very rounded view of these cases that we do.
I think it's a cool concept because I have not heard the episode. I have no idea what Michael's take on things are. I study. Yes. He sends me the case. I study it, and then I give like anywhere from 2 to 10 minute synopsis, my thoughts on the case, who I think may or may not be guilty, yada yada, like what happened in this unsolved situation or whatever. And so it's kind of cool because you hear my unfiltered take on it without having heard Michael's take, and he hasn't heard my take, so he doesn't hear it until he gets it from me. So it's kind of different. I don't know how many podcasts have done something along those lines where you're not getting any influence from the other person at all.
No,
I may or may not be saying the exact same thing Michael said, or I may be saying something completely different than Mike. I might have a completely different take that Michael doesn't expect. So
that's right, and I like to listen to that because I don't listen to it until I'm putting the show together. Before it's being released, I listen to it all together, and then I get to hear Lauren's synopsis, and then I get to kind of give some feedback on that synopsis as well, which is, like I said, I think it's a good way. It's good. The listener benefits the most, honestly, because you get to hear these different takes, these different sides. Yeah. But that's Strange and Unexplained, and
a couple of your most recent episodes have been, if you've been enjoying the Netflix reboot of Unsolved Mysteries, you've already covered 2 different cases. The newest episode is going to be one of those, right? Where it's from that Netflix series, 2 cases from there. The newest one,
it
crazy.
Is the one that was just released Monday, because you're hearing this on Wednesday. So the one that was released Monday was on Ray Rivera, which is the very first episode in the Unsolved Mysteries reboot. I had to do it.
Dude.
Check out that first episode. So strange. A man who allegedly jumped to his death, but would have had to have been running 11 miles an hour off the top of a building. It's insane. Yeah. Which that's not unhumanly possible. I get it, but definitely a case that needs to be known, and there needs to be some answers, as well as Alonzo Brooks, which I think that was episode 8. Alonzo Brooks. It's called No Ride Home. Also a case, and if you haven't heard, Alonzo Brooks's body has just been exhumed this past week. So this Unsolved Mysteries has really shed so much light on this case that shit's actually getting done, which is exciting, because there's a lot there. There's got to be something there.
Yeah, because he was clearly, I think we can agree, he was clearly murdered, and yet the autopsy found no proof that he was murdered, but I just don't think they looked good enough, That's why they're exhuming it.
They did not. But guys, also, we have a Patreon page for Strange and Unexplained as well. It's patreon.com/S&U podcast. And on there, we have early releases. The episodes are typically released on Monday. You can get them on Thursday on the Patreon page, as well as access to 2 side shows that I do, one called The Palate Cleanser and one called Strange Shorts. And those are released every other week on Monday as well, but Monday or Tuesday as well. So lots of true crime guys to listen to, guys. If you're If you're a fan of True Crime Guys Productions, we appreciate the support. And tell a friend.
Absolutely.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend and go and rate and review on iTunes if you get a minute, if you haven't done so yet. Some that have done so in the last 2 weeks, I want to say thank you to Kitty D03 in the U.S. Said, love you guys. Forget the haters. Love it.
We always do.
Stevel Dead in the U.S. said, great show, 5 stars. I can thank Esther from Once Upon a Crime for leading me to this show. And so we can also thank Esther for that. Thank you, Esther, for talking about
Esther
us
so many times.
Yeah, well, she has a way bigger show, and she still talks about us every now and then. And
right.
So we do appreciate
that very much, Esther.
Yeah. And she has great listeners, too.
Mm-hmm.
So
true that.
I want to say thank you to Excel in the U.S. Said, awesome podcast, 5 stars. Said also that I do want to let you guys know I live not even a mile from the mass murderer Ronald Gene Simmons. Man, that's the guy that I hated the most of anyone we've ever studied, I think.
Fuck that guy.
Right?
Fucking Mockingbird Hill Massacre.
Yeah. Oh. That's got to be creepy as hell to live down the road from that farm or whatever.
That book, guys, I don't know. If there's ever a true crime book I wouldn't recommend, it'd be that one.
Right. Gotta have a strong stomach for that one.
Yeah.
Then we got A Hughes 1 in the U.S. Said, love listening, 5 stars. Thank you. Hibernian in Great Britain said, Binge Fest, 5 stars. Just discovered it and can't get enough. Thank you over there across the pond. John Gilbert in the U.S. said 5 stars and suggested Gary Heednick that we do him. We may have to cover that one at some point. We've definitely gotten that one suggested before.
Okay.
And then we got somebody fell on the keyboard apparently. Okay. In the U.S.
Right.
Said, so funny, 5 stars. Thank you.
Nice.
Canyon Killer in the U.S. said, can't miss listening experience, 5 stars. Thank you. Cherry 72 in the U.S. said, how did I not find this earlier? 5 stars. Thank you.
Because we're terrible at promoting. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
We get that so often now. They're like, how do these guys been podcasting for 4 years and we haven't heard them? Because we post once a week.
Yeah. We try not to live on social media. We're not posting every 5 minutes.
I can't, guys. We rely on you guys to spread the word of the podcast. We just want to put out good content and stuff you actually want to listen to.
That's right. And the last one, Jem from the UK, said, great podcast. Been listening while working from home during this pandemic. Love your sense of humor and your laugh and your terrible English accents.
Fair enough.
And we've talked about that, how that's so divisive. Some people love it. Some people hate it. And we just realized we have to do it every now and then. We can't do it too much.
Right.
We still have to give the people what they want,
That's right. And honestly, at this point, I think they realize that it's so bad, it's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some things are so bad, they're good.
It's got that Michael Scott cringiness to it,
Yeah, it's fine.
So that about does it for this series and this episode, guys. And next week we'll be back with something other than Unlucky Lotto Winners. So stop sending us those.
Yeah, we're done with
articles,
those guys,
please, because we can't continue it forever.
Right.
But we hope you guys enjoyed it.
Unless there's like some serial killers killing lottery winners, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool for sure.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it very far.
Not so cool for the winners, but they were going to be killed apparently anyway. It sounds like everybody that wins just about, except for Mr. What was his name in Australia?
Mr. Australian guy here, totally blanked on
Mr.
his
Bill.
name. Mr. Bill Morgan.
Bill Morgan.
Yes,
I just won 250,000. I'm not joking.
Not joking, mate. Look at this.
All right, guys. Thanks for everything and keep creeping. See you next week.
Keep creeping, guys.
True crime guys, in the desert we like a mirage. It's okay if you clicked on us cause you thought we was True Crime Garage. Now we ain't mad at you, sit down, let us talk at you. I'm talking to the creeper army, we out here making murder, get murder. True crime guys, in the desert we like a mirage. It's okay if you clicked on us cause you thought we was True Crime Garage. Now we ain't mad at you, sit down, let us talk at you. I'm talking to the creeper army, we out here making murder charming.